In this video, we're going to talk about atoms, elements, and compounds, and this is our part 2 video inside of this series of chemistry. So let's get started with this video. So first thing we're going to talk about is ubiquity of matter. So this is a concept of matter describing it as a substance that makes up everything around us, such as visible or invisible. And as we can see here in the picture, there's two different sides. So one is visible and another one is invisible. So furthermore, some examples of ubiquity of matter is the desk that you sit at, the clothes that you can wear, the food that you eat, and the water you drink. So there's many more different examples, and these are just some that we listed here. So these are some examples of the ubiquity of matter. And also the chapter emphasizes the ubiquity of matter, stating that it comes from a wide variety of forms and that is around everywhere on Earth and also throughout the universe. So now we're going to talk about working with chemicals. So chemistry as a distinct science is fairly young because it only emerged in the late 1700s. And the use of chemicals and chemical processes dates back to prehistoric times. So now we're going to talk about the safety of chemicals. So even native medicines, which are gathered, prepared, and administered traditionally, are done by people trained so that they can handle them safely. And there is 3 special key points that we're going to talk about, and the first one is a trained personnel, so that means your team or the person that you're working with is trained. The second one is wear protective clothing, and the third one is responsible handling. So make sure whenever you're doing some sort of experiment, you always have these 3 points of safety with chemicals or any other experiments that you're going with. So the management of hazardous materials in Canada, and this is specifically through WHIMIS, otherwise known as Workplace Hazardous Materials Information System. And inside of WHIMIS, there's important and informative labels, and these are controlled products that must have labels in both English and French for everyone around Canada to understand. And there's also material safety data sheets, which is otherwise known as MSDS, and these are for chemical properties. So the WHIMIS and MSDS is also a way of management of hazardous materials that is used inside of Canada, and everything has to have labels. That is the law inside of Canada. And here are some WHIMIS symbols from the 1988 classes. So on the right there's a picture that has the different classes, and now on the left here we're going to talk about the different classes and explain a little bit more about them. So the first class is class A, and it's known as compressed gas. So here we can see that there's an image of the compressed gas, and some examples could be welding. For class B, it's flammable and combustible material, and some examples could be gasoline or alcohol. For class number 3, it's oxidizing material, and an example could be bleach. For class D or class number 4, it's poisonous and infectious material, and these are materials that cause immediate and serious toxic effects. And this is also the division 1. And then the next one is materials causing other toxic effects, which is division 2. And then for the 6th one we have biohazardous infection materials. This is for division 3. And for class E we have corrosive materials such as strong acids and also bases. Strong acids and both strong bases count as corrosive material. And finally for class F we have dangerously reactive material such as peroxides. So these are some WHIMIS 1988 classes that are important to understand, and you're going to see these all throughout different materials and also everything around science inside of Canada. So just as a review, we're going to talk about classifying matter. Anything with mass and volume is matter, and matter is broken down into 2 different branches, one of which is mixture and the other one is pure substance. So pure substance is matter that has a definite composition, and mixture is a combination of matter that can be separated by physical means, and also mixtures do not have definite composition. And furthermore, inside a mixture there's 2 different types, which is heterogeneous mixture and homogeneous mixture. So heterogeneous has different components of the mixture that are visible, and homogeneous is like they all look the same. So even though there is different compositions, those are not visible. And inside of the pure substance, there's 2 different parts, which is the element and the compound. And inside of the element, it cannot be chemically broken down into simpler substances. And for the compound, 2 or more elements that are chemically combined, and they can also be separated chemically into simpler substances. So this is just a review from grade 9 and also grade 8 about matter. So here's a quick few questions about classifying matter. So can you classify each of the following as a pure substance or a mixture? And the 4 options we have is A, seawater, B, iron, C, sodium chloride, and for D we have bronze. So let's see if you're going to be able to classify these correctly. So for the solution, the first one, seawater A, is a mixture, and this is because seawater contains water and various dissolved mixtures like salt and minerals, making it a homogeneous mixture. And for the second one, which is iron, it is a pure substance, and this is because iron is an element compound solely of iron atoms, making it a pure substance. For sodium chloride, it is also a pure substance, and this is because sodium chloride is a compound of sodium and chloride atoms in a fixed ratio, making it all look the same, which means that it is a pure substance, even though there's 2 different things combined inside of it. And finally for bronze, which is the 4th one, it's a mixture. So bronze is an alloy of copper and tin and possibly other elements, making it a homogeneous mixture. So this is a classifying matter review. And as a conclusion for this video, the importance of safety, we need to consider this when working with chemicals, and this section underscores the critical nature of safety for anyone working with chemical substances. The second one is the broad applicability, and this is the safety measures that are not restricted to a specific type of chemical, but may apply to a range from cleaning solutions to herbal medicines and fireworks. And the next steps is that the summary indicates that the reader is now prepared to dive into the structure of matter and the subsequent sections. And that summarizes everything for this part 2 video inside of chemistry. In our next video, we're going to further deep dive into chemistry, and until then, we'll see you guys in our next video.